Yo, what's up, guy? BeatsbyHcien, yeah. And so you're wondering why some beat get to inspire artists and why some beats, the artists just skip over. You want to stick on to this video? Make sure you watch it to the end, as I'm going to be explaining to you guys what to do to your beats, how to structure your beat so that it gets to inspire artists. So yeah, by the end of this video, you should be able to know the key elements of a beat structure that artists love. And for the essence of this exercise, I'm basically going to be using my song because of copyrights. I can't use other people's song, but yeah, whatever I'm showing you guys here is applicable to other songs as well. So let's have a listen to the song.
So many times you dey bust my head, can you giving me ginger? Give me your love, anything where you want, can you know say I get them? Give me your love, AJ. Anyway you work, I know fi concentrate.
So yeah, one thing you want to do when you're trying to like structure your beat, when you make your 8-bar loop, you want to first of all decide, am I going to start with a hook or am I going to start with a verse? Do you understand what I'm saying? And in most cases, artists like me, I always like to start with a verse and then I move on to the chorus, then verse, chorus, like that. And in some cases, some artists like to start up with the chorus and then they move over to the verse and then the chorus. So yeah, you want to figure that out at first. And in this exercise that we're going to be using, as you can see, we started with an intro. Okay, let me label it, add indicator. So we started with an intro, then we moved on to a verse. Then after that, I moved on to a pre-chorus. And after that, as you can see, I moved on to a chorus. So yeah, from that point onward, it was just basically the same arrangement. So you want to decide what you want to start your beat with. In most cases these days, I think they all start with a verse and then they move into a pre-chorus and the chorus. That's like the most popular style of arrangement. So after you've decided what you want to do, so the next thing you want to do is to make sure that your intro is short. So you don't want your intro to be more than 10 to 15 seconds because you want the artist to jump right in as soon as possible. And also in this your intro, the whole of the song, you want to pick one sound that stands out so that even as the listener, once they listen to the whole beat, there's one sound they can, resonate with. So when they hear that sound anyway, like the signature sound of that particular beat. So in my case, in this song, it was this guitar right here. And this guitar is basically, if you notice in the arrangement, is basically going from the beginning down to the end. Do you get? So that was what started this song. And as you can see, like I said, in terms of timing, it was around the 10 to 15 second range. Do you get what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that your first 5 to 15 seconds as well is very exciting because that's what is going to captivate the artist to jump in on it. So sometimes you want to create a little bit of room effects, make it reverb, like make it wet. You understand? Make it where you don't want, sometimes you don't want to start too punchy. You want to build up the intro, then drop down to the verse. So that's just basically what I am kind of experimenting over here. So let's hear the intro all through so you hear what it sounds like. So you can see I'm introducing the whole sound. Then after 4 bars, I like bringing in my bass. You can see that's what the intro of the whole song sounds like, and that's my voice. This is my song actually. If you like it, the description below, stream my music, motivate your boy. And yeah, that was just basically what I did there, making sure my first 5 to 10 seconds is really interesting and captivates the artist. Like I said, pick one of the most important sound in the whole beat. In my situation, it is this particular guitar here, which was sounding all through, and I didn't introduce the kick yet. most of the beat, if you listen these days, even all these beat stars, popular songs, you realize that the first 8 bars they actually don't really put kick. It's kind of wavy in the sense that reverb, vocal chops, the main sound, the whole thing, and then there's a break and a roll, and then the kicks and everything drops in and the verse starts. Most cases, this is how arrangements are being done. So yeah, I hope you understand this first phase of what you're supposed to do. Just make sure you make the intro as short as possible and make sure you make it as captivating as possible. How can you do that? Picking the most important sound in your beats and also adding some ear candies and making it wet and wavy, like adding reverbs and all those stuff depends on the vibe that you're going for. So yeah, the next one you want to know when it comes to beat structure is understanding song dynamics. Very important. Your intro, you want to make it exciting as possible so that when the artist listens to the beat, it captivates the beat. It captivates the artist. And one mistake most people do, you don't just send beats to random artists. Okay, you want to make sure you've listened to the type of songs that they are doing, listen to the type of song that they are making, and then you can now send it to them. So now I'm going to explain this beat while I explain the whole intro, verse, chorus, and pre-chorus, what they are all about. So yeah, if you can observe here now, the intro, you want to make sure it is short as possible. It is having those nice reverby sound that can, activate the vibe for the artist. That is like what this intro is. We've played it before. And when you move over to the verse, now the verse needs to be as simple as possible. You don't want to overproduce. You want to make sure the verse has space and creates room for the vocals to sit so that the artist tends to drive with the music. Most times I advise when you make your beat, make sure you make it like 50% done. Let the artist listen. So I'm going to play this verse so you can hear what it sounds like without my voice verse. So what can you observe in the whole verse? It's only the drums that is playing, one guitar, yeah, and the piano that is playing. We're missing one effect already, but yeah, let's just keep going. So if you notice, that's what is sounding around this verse. So the verse, in terms of dynamics, you want to make sure that the verse is as simple as possible so that the artist tends to vibe, create room for the artist. Don't really put too much in it. So that's basically what the verse is all about. Let me bring in the vocal so you can see how the voice sits on the verse.
So many times you dey bust my head, girl, you giving me ginger. Give me your love, anything where you want, girl, you know say I get them. Give me your love, AJ. Anywhere you walk, I know if you concentrate. I go give you things where you want. Say me don't fall for you.
So the next dynamics we're going to be explaining is a pre-chorus. In some cases, this can be, opinion based. You can put a pre-chorus in your song. You can just jump from the verse to the chorus. But in most arrangements, after the verse, it leads to the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus is just building up to the chorus. Do you understand? So in a pre-chorus, sometimes you can take out some sounds and introduce some sound. It's like, when you're walking on a journey, you're just trying to let the listener, let the artist know something is about to drop. Do you get? So even when the artist listens, the artist knows that, okay, what's about to happen, then you catch it back in the chorus. Do you get what I'm saying? So you want to build tension. That's the word. So you want to build tension when you're creating your pre-chorus, making them know that you are leading into a chorus. Let's hear that and let's see what that sounds like. So you can see from the verse.
I go give you things that you want. Say me don't fall.
Then we build it.
Anything you want, I give you as you please. Oh my lord.
See, I introduced the new guitar. So you can see I'm building tension, making them know something is about to happen. You see where we started from? We started from simple arrangement from the verse, making them, make the artist excited, to bounce on it. Then after like 8 bars, I dropped in another 8 bars where I brought the tempo a little bit mid, but I'm building up because I'm about to drop to the chorus. So you want to build tension. That is what pre-chorus is all about. Now, the chorus is where the energy is, and this is like the main idea of the track. This is where you want to bring in every sound that you've played. You can also take out some sound though, so that it's not too noisy, but yeah, you want to bring in every sound that you've played around this chorus. You want to make it so exciting, like it's like everybody's rejoicing. Do you understand? If you're making this type of Afrobeat, so the chorus, when it comes to dynamics, is the main idea of the song. You see that all those loops, the 8-bar loop that you were making, 16-bar loop that you were making, that you added so many sounds, this is where you bring them in. So I want you to listen so you get to understand what it sounds like without the vocals. One sound is missing as well, which is this Game Boy, but for the purpose of this video, let's just keep going. So on the normal, this sound is supposed to be playing, but I did it in my previous laptop. So you understand what I'm saying though? For the dynamics, for the chorus is the main idea. Chorus is when you want to bring in those sounds, bring in the energy, bring in everything so that the artist get to up the tempo when he or she is writing the song. So that's just basically what I'm talking about when it comes to song dynamics. So I hope you understand what the intro should sound like, what the verse should sound like, what the pre-chorus should sound like, what the chorus should sound like. So in most genre, these dynamics applies to most genre. Whether you're making amapiano as well, there's pre-chorus where you build up to the drop where amapiano log drums starts coming in. So yeah, this is basically what I mean by music dynamics. So I hope you understand what this is when it comes to beat structuring or arrangement. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is leaving room for vocals, which is very important. When you're making a beat that you know that an artist is going to jump on it, you want to make sure that you are not overproducing. Do you get me? You want to make sure that you are creating room for the artist to jump on it. I listen to some beats and I tend to realize that you choke it, like you make it too much. You make the artist even be like, where am I going to lay down my vocals? Like, where am I supposed to lay down my vocals? Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're making or creating a beat for artists, you want to make sure you create room for their space, you create room for their vocals to shine. Because if you listen to this whole track, you can realize that there's room for the vocals to shine.
So many times you dey bust my head, girl, you giving me ginger. Give me your love, anything where you want, girl, you know say I get them. Give me your love, AJ. Anyway you work, I know if you concentrate. I go give you things where you want. Say me don't fall for you.
There's space.
Anything you want, I give you as you please. Oh my love.
You can hear the vocals, like you can hear what the vocals is sounding like.
For you. I go give you things where you want, girl, you know I did. Say me I don't fall for you. Oh my love. So me say Angeli, no. Baby give me love, oh Angeli, no. I say baby give me love, oh Angeli.
So one thing I didn't really do yet, I'm going to talk about, is also ear candies. Very important. For some reason, I didn't do it here. But yeah, you can see how there's space for the vocals. So when you're creating beat for an artist, sometimes the reason why they can decline your beat is because there's no room for their vocals to shine and you are overproducing. Stop overproducing your beats and just make it simple and short. If you've been following my videos, you see how I make my beat simple and short. And maybe after the artists have been inspired and drop down some vocals, then you can now add one or two things, not too many things, to make the beat more exciting. So yeah, stop overproducing and create room and space for your artist. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is adding transitions. Trust me, transitions helps to like let the artist know this is where the chorus ends, this is where the verse starts, this is where the pre-chorus comes in. Like as you can see around there, I use a roll to introduce the verse. Around here, I use an SFX sound to introduce a pre-chorus. After that, again, I use another, drum roll and SFX this time around to introduce the chorus. So after that, I introduce a roll again to introduce back to another verse.
I say, baby, give me love.
So you want to add transitions. This is going to help to create and make the artist understand. It's like a footprint for the artist. So the artist, or a blueprint for the artist, whereby he's listening to the beat that you've sent to him and is able to recognize, okay, this is where the verse is. Okay, this is where the chorus is. And if you follow the dynamics of the verse, the pre-chorus and the chorus, he's going to understand that, okay, he or she's going to understand that, okay, this simple places for the verse. Okay, there's a little bit more here. It's going to know it's for the pre-chorus. Oh, everything drops here. It's going to know it's the chorus. And you want to also bring in those SFX, those drum rolls to help them understand that, okay, something is about to change. Okay, this is a new phase. Okay, this is a new phase. So you want to add that in very important transitions. Another thing, sometimes you want to also use reference tracks. Like I always tell people, there's no type of song you want to make that have not ever been made. The only little thing is just a difference in your creativity and uniqueness. So sometimes you can listen to a song. I do that most of the time. Like when I listen to some kind of song and I like what it sounds like, I can use that as a reference track to arranging my own beats. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is very, very, very important as well. So you want to also make sure you listen to reference tracks, listen to popular songs, get to understand how the beat structure is being made. Do you get? So that's a very, very important point. And I hope that you guys don't sleep on it. Yeah, reference track, really important. So yeah, I think if you find this video really helpful and you're enjoying what you're watching already, make sure you click and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel while you're watching it. You're not subscribed yet. And if you like all what you're hearing, the drums that you're hearing, everything is on my Haitian Attire Premium Pack. And if you haven't gotten it yet, make sure you click the link below. And for the instruments, I'm using the Afrobeat pack, reverse pack, also link description below to get yours. And I just basically wanted to explain beat structure so that at the end of the day, when you start making your songs, when you start making your beats and sending it over to artists, they get to understand and like it more. So these are like the few keys, few things that you can do to your beat to excite it and to make artists love it. And like I always said, if you're still having issues with music theory, which is one of the basic and one of the most important parts of making music, click the link above somewhere here and make sure you go watch it. And yeah, till I catch you guys in the next video, remember to always stay productive. Peace.